cute, sexy, and fun. You're watching CSF Nation's own WMK TV, Channel 90.
Oh, sorry. So it's still going. It is still going. People are still like reeling from the fallout of Charlie Kirk's assassination, and it just the more things kind of go, the more things kind of fall out, the more that well, for one, I was right. I think that his death was going to have a ripple effect, and sure enough, we're kind of seeing that. We are definitely seeing that, especially with what we're about to get into. So let's get into it. Good morning, CSF Nation. I'm Makini, 9-yard Sermon Illustrator, and we're back. We are back for Makini in the morning. Hope you guys are doing well. And there are two topics I want to get into today. And both of them are dealing with still dealing with the fallout from the Charlie Kirk assassination over back on Wednesday. So it's been a full week, and it's still in the headlines. We've seen the protests. We've seen people making so many tributes across the world. It's insane. And yeah, I think this is going to continue dominating the headlines for a while. It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. So before we get into it, I'm going to show you guys, we're going to work on Hornet from Hollow Knight, and we're going to get into that. We'll see if we can, I want to see if I can get, see if we get the recolors in. We're going to get the recolors in, and then we're going to get the recolors in on the shading, and then do some more work on the lighting, backlight. Do I think we're going to finish today? I think we may finish today, but do I think we're going to finish during the show? Probably unlikely, but we do have plenty to go over. We got 4 people watching. Thank you guys so much. You guys have been amazing. I know I have been away for a while in terms of this show, and we need to get back on a consistent schedule for Makini in the morning. But let's get right into it. Thank you guys so much. if you guys can do me a favor.
Hey, if you're enjoying this program, please smack that like button and make a jiggle.
And smack that subscribe button if you want to see more art content from Makini. Thank you so much, and hope you enjoy the show.
Later.
Smack that like button, make a jiggle. Smack that subscribe button and make a jiggle. You guys have been absolutely amazing. Thank you everybody for showed up yesterday. Good news. If you guys would like some good news, I did get my refund. So my refund has been approved for AC Shadows. It should be within 14 days time. That means, and once I got that email confirmation for my refund, I immediately deleted it from my library. So I still got rid of it from my library. So yes. So how much I paid for that freaking deluxe edition is coming back to me within about 14 business days or so. Happy about that. It worked. It worked. I don't ever have to play that game again, thankfully. Anyway, so yeah, there's that. There is that. That's pretty funny on that one. So anyway, let's go ahead and get right into it. Let's go ahead and say hi to everybody. Before we do that, I do need to turn on the music. I do need to turn on the music for Makini in the morning. I'm probably gonna need to do some house cleaning here on Makini for this particular show. Because now it's seeming more that the three shows that I do, Makini Live, Makini in the Morning, and Peak Gaming, are now having more and more having their own separate styles, having their own separate, entity, having their own kind of separate ways of thinking. So they're starting to branch off. I'm noticing the three shows are starting to branch off more. So I need to work on Maricela. I need to get. So I think Maricela needs her own, like, smack that like button. So we need to make one just for that and all that good stuff. So, but anyway, got a lot to go in. Let me go ahead and turn on the music for you guys. I know I'm trying not to stall too much. I have a bad habit, and you know what? It's not a good thing. I need to get rid of that habit of stalling. Have everything ready to go and all that good stuff. So, all right, there we go. All right, there we go. There we go. I'm turn this off and let us say hi to everyone in the chat. Okay, and what is going on? So what is going on? Thank you. Okay, let's go into the main topic. We're gonna share the screen. Main topic. We're gonna share the entire screen. Make sure the audio is up and running. So let's go ahead and say. Let's go ahead and say hi to Meetup. So first off, Power. Good morning to you. JXW, good to see you, my friend. Hope you are doing well. I've come back to Maki Nation. Good to see that. Neo J, hi everyone. I see you. Yes. That was one of the best moments. That was my favorite moment in that event. And I'm like, bruh. That event, I loved it. Anyway, whereas yes, finally. Yes, I've got my full refund yesterday, so thankfully. Oh. Into it. So let's start with the main course here. Now, we're going to grab this from Rev. We are going to grab this from Rev. Rev says Desu. I'll put a link to his in the chat. But in context, we are still reeling. The world is still reeling from the Charlie Kirk assassination, from the passing. For the past couple of days, you have heard multiple, and I mean multiple. For the past couple of days, you have heard multiple takes. You have heard many people. We've heard swarms of people. Well wishes to the family, but also you've heard so many people, celebrating his passing. And for that, it is important. It has definitely put me in a crossroad. It's definitely put me in kind of like this moral crossroads about this. And honestly, from what we also been seeing is that the people who have been celebrating Kirk's passing, Charlie Kirk's death and his assassination, have been fired. A lot of people have been purged, and a lot of people have been fired and shit like that. It has gone. The divide is just ramped up, as we all predicted. The divide has ramped up completely, and one proverbial person who's been talking about this is one Hamas, Adolf, Diddy, Epstein, Baby Oil, old enough to count, old enough to mount. Gila Klein is a valid military target. I support the Houthi Terries 10 toes down. Piker. At first, he was shocked, naturally shocked about seeing the footage, seeing him get shot in the neck. Seeing Charlie Kirk get shot in the neck, then he was supposed to be, he was supposed to be actually debating him within 2 weeks' time. And yeah, Kirk is being used, and that's that's the sad part of his power, is that he's being used as a distraction now for the Epstein files. He's being used as a distraction for the censorship, because it's still going on. That's the stuff in the UK. They had a huge protest in the UK. It was just absolutely crazy, man. Like, Australia's doubling down. It's like, it feels like it's using it as a scapegoat, as a distraction. So you are 1,000% right on that. But Hasan went on an entire tirade for about 2 hours, not even once condemning the assassin, not even once condemning, saying that, one, it shouldn't have happened, and two, but he never once condemned the assassination, never once condemned it whatsoever. And what happened over the past week was now more and more of Hasan's like previous statements about going after politicians have now surfaced, and it's gotten bad to the point where now head of X, head of Twitch, CEO of X or Twitter, Elon Musk has now gotten contact with Jeff Bezos, the head of Amazon, and he basically wants Hasan banned off of the platform. It's crazy, man. Like it is absolutely crazy, and it does make me wonder if this might be the smoking gun, if this might be the one to do it, because Hasan has said multiple things. Hasan has said so many like abhorrent things on Twitch, and yet he's never been banned. He's never gotten the ban. He's never gotten hit with a ban hammer. I mean, and he's the one that's never gotten it, and it's clear because if you guys follow the greatest series on Earth, the greatest series on More Pegasus channel, Hasan he's unbannable, basically. He's unbannable. He's unbannable on Twitch. He is the golden cow on Twitch. So he can get away with a lot more than, I would argue, you could probably get away with a lot more with even even with the Twitch girl, even with the occasional Twitch girl can get away with nowadays. Just because, Dan Clancy, the gooning lord himself, is just sucking Hasan's Piker. Okay, let's just put it that way. But it has definitely ramped up. The situation has definitely ramped up to the point where, yeah, now Elon is calling for, getting this guy banned off the platform, and even calling Jeff Bezos, head of Twitch, head of Amazon, who owns Twitch, to intervene. So let's get right into it. This is coming from Rev, and we're going to watch it in full. Make sure my audio is in full as well. We're going to watch it in full, and it's going to be a very, very interesting situation that we have here. So if you guys are not subscribed to Rev, please do so. Rev, take it away.
So it looks like there's some major trouble a brewing for Hasan Piker. So over the past couple of days, there's been a lot of calls on social media putting some heat on Twitch, Amazon, its owner, and also the CEO of Amazon, Jeff Bezos. This comes in wake of the Charlie Kirk assassination that was fueled by political violence. And a lot of people are turning to these platforms and their owners and saying, what are you going to do about people like Hasan Piker who have been spreading hateful rhetoric on your platform? Are we going to stop this sort of thing from radicalizing people? And it's getting pretty serious. At this point, a lot of tweets are going viral. In fact, some very influential people are now responding and directly calling out Twitch and Jeff Bezos. And this couldn't happen at a worse time for Twitch. Right now, they're not even profitable. I've wondered for a long time why Amazon even puts up with them. They don't even turn a profit. And that's because of their horrible infrastructure and their horrible marketing. Nobody wants to sit on this platform that's filled with a lot of garbage, quite frankly, and watch 15 ads before they can even view 1 minute of a stream. And like I said, they're not profitable. Their CEO, Dan Clancy, said this back in 2024, and things have only gotten worse. In fact, right now, Twitch's viewership across the platform is the lowest in 5 years. They're doing like pre-COVID numbers at this point. It's looking really bad. And right now, with everything going on in wake of the Charlie Kirk assassination and people trying to go out there and start cracking down on violent rhetoric being spread on social media, people are looking at Dan Clancy and his connection to Hasan Piker, who he has consistently praised for speaking what he believes.
Not a gamer himself, Clancy mostly watches musicians or talk shows on Twitch. He particularly enjoys leftist political commentator Hasan Piker, who has 2.5 million followers on the platform. I like the frankness and the bluntness, Clancy said. He's comfortable saying what he believes.
Yeah, apparently speaking what he believes contains a lot of very hateful things that are, well, quite frankly, concerning. But yesterday or 2 days ago, I talked about an article that Hasan Piker was a part of where he was talking about Charlie Kirk, and he was saying that now he fears political violence and he wants to turn down the temperature, which is incredibly ironic coming from him. And in that video, I showed about a dozen different examples of Hasan Piker.
He fears political violence as he's been the one promoting it. And there's actually, if you want, I don't know if he has it in this video, but we're going to go back to a previous video where there's been a compilation of Hasan, asking for political violence.
Guys are here.
So let's go back to the compilation. There's a compilation here. Let's see.
And of course, a couple months ago, he was waving around what he was trying to
wave around the gun,
give the impression of was a real gun.
You need to be gutting them.
Oh, here we go.
Referring to people getting close to Donald Trump in public. It's very obvious what they're implying here, that someone could get close to him and attack him. Why else would he repost this? He can't be consistent for 2 seconds. And there is endless clips, and thanks to Tectone for putting this one together, but I'm just going to play a small part of it. This is some of the rhetoric he has espouted over the years.
I'm sick and tired of it. Left-wingers, liberals, you need to be showing your opponent's guts on there, okay? You need to be gutting them. You need to be shanking these and letting their intestines just ride on stage. What the this shit, man? Slice them up. Slice them and slice them. What the this? You cannot have a bigger layup. You could not have had a bigger layup than a horrible candidate like Herschel Walker.
874 Bellevue Drive, and I'm gonna kill you with my AR-15. Like that's the type of messages they were leaving in this dude's office, and he's resigning. Like he's literally, this is his last term. So I think that people are a lot more radical.
It's hurt poor people that they can afford housing in Berkeley. I don't know how that works.
My understanding is that the property owners who have properties there choose just not to rent it at all.
Yeah, kill them. Kill those motherfuckers. Murder those motherfuckers. Street. Let the streets soak in their fucking red capitalist bloods.
No. This is the guy who is fearful of political violence.
What was that? If you care about universal health care, you would off Senator Rick Scott. I mean,
despite saying all of these things for years and years and years, and I didn't even play some of the clips of his orbiters who have made
his orbiters,
calls to violence.
His orbiters are that much worse. Like his orbiters are even worse. Like, for example, let's bringing up Denham's for example, Denham's upping the bounty on Mark Kern Grums to 30,000. There was that. And another one, the personal favorite one, is Mike from PA, who who said that a certain ethnicity is a demonic, who called a certain ethnicity demonic and got banned for a week, when really rhetorically that would get you permanently banned off the platform. It's actually against Twitch terms of service. And you would argue that easily argue that a lot of what Hasan has been doing over the years, Hasan's been saying over the years, has been vehemently against Twitch's terms of service. And yet he's still on the platform. And yet he hardly ever gets banned for it. It's just the only time he ever gets banned is when he's on a day off from streaming, basically. I love it. So
making calls to political violence. You can watch the video if you want to get the specific examples. But yeah, it's not looking good for him. He looks like a hypocrite. And since then, he's come out with a flurry of articles where these platforms are hosting him and basically making him the center of attention in this situation, allowing Hasan Piker to basically be the arbiter of truth for Charlie Kirk. And you can see it's filled with a bunch of narcissism, and that is as expected from him. And a lot of people are criticizing him for doing this. It seems like a very desperate attempt at PR, because he knows right now there's a lot of heat on him, and he's trying to make himself as a guy who rejects political violence, despite his well-documented history of doing the exact opposite of what he's saying. And now he's mad and going after other people for, quote unquote, farming this stuff like the soulless husks they are. And guess what he does after that? He contributes to another article. Yep, this time with the New York Times, titled, "I was supposed to debate Charlie Kirk. Here's what I would have said." Yeah, you were supposed to debate Charlie Kirk. Well, Charlie Kirk's kids were supposed to have a dad. I don't know how this guy can make it any more about himself and be more melodramatic about this. And again, in this one as well, he ends up calling out political violence again and tries to condemn it. We know it's a bunch of hypocrisy and a chance for him to save face, which people are not buying. And really the true intentions of what he's saying about the man is coming out. It seemed at first he was trying to...
By the way, before we play the next part, everybody, and I mean everybody, was doing tributes to Charlie Kirk over this weekend. A lot of tributes going on all over the place. So it's very interesting that Hasan goes off on this particular tribute from the New York Yankees, when there have been tributes all over the place, and not only in sporting venues over this weekend, but even across the world. Europe, South Korea did a major tribute to Charlie Kirk. So many people made a huge tribute to Charlie Kirk over this weekend, and it was insane to see. It's incredible. It's incredible. Let's see. I was gonna say that much. So, yeah, but he's crashing out over this particular one from the New York Yankees.
Show some sort of shock and horror about the situation, but over the supporting him or even condemning anything that's happened to him. In fact, it's shown right here. Hasan was literally seething because the New York Yankees held a moment of silence for Charlie Kirk. This upset him greatly.
Holy Yankees held a moment of silence for Charlie Kirk. Kirk founded the youth activist group Turning Point USA and had become a fixture on college campuses. Bro, the right dominates our politics so aggressively. I mean, how can you look at this? I mean, how can you look at this and see anything else? Yeah, youth activist group. Stripping its ideological convictions of all of its meat until it's just a right-wing activist with a youth group.
Together.
Yeah, look at this totally normal guy getting upset about someone getting a moment of silence at a sporting event. And by the way, for those not familiar, there have been countless major sporting events all across America and the world as well that have also held moments of silence. So I don't know if Hasan's just not seeing that, but there's also vigils all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
One that was just insane to show the level of influence. There is a clip of hundreds of South Koreans in English chanting, "We are Charlie Kirk."
Mm-hmm.
And you can like his views or not, but you can't deny his influence and how this assassination.
Are you saying now, Neo J? Are you insinuating that he hasn't leveled up to receive the empathy skill token like Anissa's wife's husband and has? Are you trying to say that he's not old enough to earn empathy? Apparently, Neo J, we learned empathy at a younger age. You know, apparently you have to be in your early 30s, like Anissa's wife's husband, to learn empathy. Okay, that's bitch.
Has opened a lot of people's eyes, and a lot of people have had a very intense reaction to this. It's not just the wackadoos on social media making threats and encouraging further political violence. A lot of people are mourning and commemorating and at the very least condemning what's going on. But Hasan Piker is very upset about that. And he's upset that he doesn't have the influence this guy had. And he's just seething about it. And it really shows his true colors right here. But again, a lot of people are calling him out on social media. There are countless posts, compilations of all of his crazy statements over the years, making a demand to Twitch to do something. You can see Tectone sharing one of the many videos he's been sharing about Hasan recently. But something interesting happened here. So Madam Savvy would quote that and say a ban would not be enough. She wants Dan Clancy to step down and Twitch to make a public statement about this and maybe even a third-party investigation into how he's allowed to curtail their rules so much. And also she was saying down here, she might actually make an account and just read off Hasan quote.
Now, Savvy, you know that's not going to happen, okay? As long as Gooning Lord Dan Clancy is around, you know, do we really want to know what the contents are in his gooning rag, okay? Because he how much he goons for Hasan that much, you know, we can't. I think you're kind of asking a little too much there, man. There's like some black light shit going on, man. I'm just saying. I mean, they are in cahoots, man. I'm just saying.
And then endlessly play it back until it gets banned for his own words for glorification of terrorism. It actually sounds like a great idea, very funny one. They would definitely ban it, 100%. They don't even care about being viewed as hypocrites at this point. But there was another development. Elon Musk would reply to that previous quote saying, "What's up here, Jeff Bezos?" directly tagging the CEO of Amazon, who owns, of course, Twitch. And it's getting an incredible amount of attention. And this is a pretty crazy thing to see. Again, you don't have to like Elon Musk, but he's obviously an influential man, and directly calling out Jeff Bezos in the name of Hasan Piker and Twitch is a wild thing to see. And who knows if we'll actually get some action, but there have been some cooler heads to prevail, or so we think. Here's Jenk, who is making some tweets trying to condemn people celebrating Charlie Kirk's death and condemning further calls for violence and saying, hey, I talked to some right-wing friends today and realized one of the biggest problems is that they're only seeing the crazies that are saying disgusting things about Charlie Kirk.
I'm just saying, you don't understand how much he is in the. You don't understand. You don't understand, JSW. I'm just saying, man. He's goading the Lord, okay? He is on that Hamas. He is on that Hamas Piker the same way that Taylor Lorenz is. Okay, it ain't gonna let it go. He is going to look the other way because he is caught just fapping it to Hasan every chance he gets. Just saying.
In fact, two people he surrounds himself with, Mike from PA and Denims, have both put bounties on other people's heads. One of the conversations was about Stellar Blade. How?
Well, Mike from PA did call a certain ethnicity demonic, which, if it was any other person, would get you permanently banned off of the platform because, that is a heavy violation of Twitch's terms of service, but go on.
How many people do you know that have two friends who have done something like that? It's just violent rhetoric all over the place. And now this guy's trying to basically say, oh, this is a little too much. Like, this has been going on for years and years and years. In fact, one of the compilations of his takes here, his wild statements, caught the attention of Elon Musk. Now, where that goes, I have no idea. But the fact it's come to this, because nobody at Twitch will put their foot down and punish the most egregious behavior you'll ever see. None of it's going to stop for a long time. It doesn't seem like Twitch is ever going to do anything about Hasan Piker, and this violent rhetoric is going to continue to be spread around, and we see the effects. We have seen how much radicalization has gone on social media, where people feel.
I can't say exactly what he said because that actually your stream gets demonetized for actually bringing it up. But yeah, he actually called a certain ethnicity demonic. So I'll let you fill in the blanks.
Free to celebrate death. They feel free to threaten people's lives. They feel free to encourage more political violence. It's because of rhetoric like this existing and being protected by places like Twitch. Now, Asmongold would comment about the assassination, and of course, then Hasan would react to it, and he would just go completely unhinged.
Genuine terrorism on a daily.
Dude, he's such a pussy. Just say you want me to be killed, okay? What is this? What is this wishy-washy, like, oh, the left gets to do terrorism, and the left is defended for doing terrorism, and they should actually experience the violence themselves. That's what he's trying to say.
And then, congratulate each other about how moral and how good they are for doing it because something bad that happened in Palestine or something bad that Donald Trump did 3 years ago. This is just
Twitch partner streamer, by the way.
Simply a response. This is what's going to happen. And so, and I think that that's probably what it's going to take for these left-wing people to realize what a bad idea what they've been doing is. Because until it starts happening to them, until they start having people that are their friends or, their, like icons that they look up to, the same way people look up to Trump.
Dude, this is so stupid, okay? This person is more my contemporary on the opposing side than this rat is. I was supposed to debate him 2 weeks from now. What the talking about? I've known this person for longer than I've known Asmongold. He has abhorrent views. Okay, and I despise his views, but he's over here using the death of a dude I was supposed to debate 2 weeks from now, call for violence in the pussiest way possible without naming names here too, because he doesn't want to get banned.
As pointed out in this response from Asmongold, he always wants to play the victim. Hasan always wants to play the victim to the point where he's literally begging someone to basically say they want to harm him. And that's not what Asmongold wants. I think Hasan's a little confused because he's encountering someone who doesn't have these violent thoughts. So when he sees someone like Asmongold talking about this, that's where
Hamas is he is obsessed with Asmongold. Like there is not one moment in his sentence that he doesn't refer to Asmongold in some way, because Asmongold is the top political streamer on Twitch, and people are flocking to Zach more than they do to Hasan. He can never stop talking about Asmongold. I'm just saying.
Mind goes, but that's not where Asmon's mind was. It clearly wasn't. And also, he talks about how he's supposed to debate Charlie Kirk, which is, yeah, it's pretty crazy if you think about it. In only a week and a half, he was supposed to debate Charlie Kirk. And this was Hasan's own chat reacting to him bringing up what was supposed to be a debate with Charlie Kirk. This is from Pegasus. This is just how his chat looked for a few seconds.
Now, it turns out Hasan was scheduled to debate Charlie Kirk in 15 days from now. And upon hearing the news of Charlie's death, here's how Hasan's chat responded as he was covering the story. Basically, we got a bunch of laughing emojis. Doesn't mean he's not coming on then. He gets away again. Laughing emoji, he will debate the corpse. Debate his corpse. I think that would mean Hasan won the debate, actually. Debate the corpse. He got smoked. Today is a good day. Can't believe he got shot on purpose to avoid the debate. I'll pray, but not for the reason he wants. Debate won. That's ridiculous. He's just trying to do anything to duck the debate. Here we got some Illuminati emojis, false flag and the sus emoji, staged. Oh no, Charlie down, wee-oo. No Fed posting. I'm not upset. Laughing again. Finally, some good news. Did he get himself shot to avoid the debate? Also, we do not need your help moderating, but thank you for your suggestions. That's right, we got this under control. By the way, all those comments are in the span of 10 seconds, right? Because there was literally the first 10 seconds he was covering the story. Wonderful audience there, Hasan, as always. Again, Hasan is not responsible for random chatters, but I just find it interesting, the complete lack of moderation there for literal years, you know? It's almost like, you know, they say the things that he doesn't want to say, right? But that's just my opinion.
But no. Housing all of this sort of rhetoric, it definitely doesn't impact your community. Yeah, this is exactly how they act all the time because they're allowed to act like this all the time. There's no moderation. This stuff is encouraged. It's tolerated. They know they have a place in his community acting like that. They know they're not going to get kicked out or anything. In fact, there was a guy, a Hasan fan, was allegedly arrested for terroristic threats just a few days ago. Now, nobody's responsible for the actions of others in that sort of a direct way, but this is what goes on in his community. They're all unhinged, and they've been allowed to exist on places like Twitch for a very long time. And really, enough is enough with this. It's just ridiculous to see this guy with his crocodile tears coming out and saying, we got to stop political violence. I'm fearful of political violence.
Well, you're the one
when he's been doing this stuff
for
years with him and his community. But anyways, that's going to do for this video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about these topics in the comment section.
It's when stop political violence when you're the one advocating for it, though. That's the thing you have to keep in mind. It's not the one you're the one completely advocating for it. It's just I find it very interesting, to say the least. Okay, I find it very, very interesting, to say the least. And from my so that was Rev. From my personal standpoint, I don't think anything's going to happen. I'm just going to be honest with you. I just don't think anything's going to happen. I think is that he's I think it just shows how much of an influence that Hasan has on the platform, and just how much he's in bed with sorry about that. He's in bed with Dan Clancy on Twitch. It's just he's been evading. He has dodged so many calls to get banned It's just because of how much of a platform, how big of an audience he has, and how much he's making Twitch money. You know what I mean? And the thing is that even if Hasan were to move to another platform, like say like Kick or X or whatever, he's going to bring his audience with him, and they know that because that's going to bring down the because that's going to bring Twitch down for good. When the moment that Hasan gets banned or banned off the platform, Twitch is dead. Twitch is completely done for. So they need him to stay relevant. They need him to stay alive, literally. That's kind of the whole MO with Twitch now, is that they do need Hasan to kind of like, stay alive, because he's the only one that's actually making the money, despite the fact that Twitch has been running at a net loss for years at this point. Hey, Sean. Because I could, and I was really inspired. It's like, I'm not the only one to do it, though. You know that. I'll show you. Oh no, not he will do whatever he will do. Whatever we do, it will come. Twitch will die off the platform, and I think that might be a good thing or something. But the thing is that like Hasan is like rightfully like banned. Hasan should be, a lot of the stuff that he's been saying over the years is violating Twitch's terms of service, and that warrants. And if it was any other content creator, it would warrant a ban. So the fact that Elon has called, he's advocating for political violence, and the fact that those clips are surfacing to where Elon is now calling Jeff Bezos, who is the head of Amazon, CEO of Amazon, who owns Twitch, to step in and intervene and get Hasan banned. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I don't think anything's going to happen because, it's Hamas Piker. What do you expect? Rules for thee, for not for me. It has been going on for years, my friend. It has been going on for years. Oh, you doing so? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well, Sean. But yeah, I'm drawing Hornet. I've been doing it for the past couple of days. So I was inspired. Okay, I was inspired. So I was inspired. And also I was probably pissed off with the whole. I was probably pissed off too on Wednesday as well. Now I did hear this news from Nux Taku, and I heard this after we did our stream yesterday. Where is it? And they're not even gonna bring up they're not even gonna bring up. I love how Wikipedia is not even gonna bring up the freaking the person who killed her. So now y'all motherfucker at the cross, man. This guy, man. This admit got me angry. This admittedly got me angry. And I'm okay, let me bring this up. So this is going to be a heavy topic, and I'm going to continue to get mad. I'm going to continue to say something about this shit. So here we go. This is from the Hindustan Times. Ayana Zarutska update: was DeCarlos Brown released from prison for treatment? Reports claiming that DeCarlos Brown Jr. was freed after killing Ukrainian refugee Ayana Zardska are false. A judge only ordered a mental health evaluation, not release. Bullshit. I stand by the fact that no, a mental health evaluation is not. That's not good enough. It's not enough. I think he needs to be locked up completely and thrown away the key. I'm dead serious. Either that or just honestly make a fucking example out of him and just bring the death penalty back. But on Monday, the case of Erna Zarevska, Ukrainian refugee stabbed to death by suspect Carlos Brown Jr. inside a Charlotte, North Carolina transit railway got major twist. Reports claim that Brown Jr. was released from prison by a judge so that he could take admission at a hospital to treat his mental illness. Now, apparently those reports were false, and I stand by what I said, that judge, whoever the judge who's been releasing him 14 damn times, needs to be prosecuted. Needs to be fucking prosecuted. Reports of Brown's release for admission to a private hospital were first shared by Ken Silva, a journalist associated with the news outlet Headline USA. Silva reported that Judge Roy Wiggins of North Carolina ordered DeCarlos Brown Jr. to be sent to Central Regional Hospital in Charlotte. However, the order was misrepresented in many social media posts, as Judge Wiggins did not order a release of DeCarlos Brown Jr. from prison. As per order signed Friday, September 12th, that said that he is sending Brown Jr. to a mental health facility in order to assess if he's ready to face trial. It was not a full release of Brown Jr., who was accused of murder and brutal Erna Zarevska. Given DeCarlos Brown's past history of mental illness, it is normal procedure to determine that the defendant's capacity to proceed within the trial. Judge Wiggins' statement was misconstrued only by many on social media. Says that Brown Jr. has been released, but just not a case. A copy of the judge's order, which was also shared by Ken Silva. Here's the order for anyone who wants to take place in itself. So this is the, let's go and click this up. This is the, okay. So this is the citation. This is the order. He is going to be sent to hospital for mental health evaluation, which is going to be for about 60 days, but he is still going to be locked up in prison, and I'm hoping it's life. I'm honestly hoping it's life without parole. Honestly. As you guys know, this got me really angry when I saw this got me really angry the other day when I saw BLM make that fucking tweet about, you know, the marginalized deserve a right to violence, which was completely taken, which they took something that was said back in the 80s completely out of context for their own political gains. So I stand by what I said. Fuck BLM. Oh boy. Yeah, I got furious with that, so to speak. Now he doesn't need to be a mental health evaluation. I don't think he needs a mental health evaluation. I really don't. Somebody posted, even if the judge was stupid enough to let him go somehow, this man is more famous than most A+ celebrity. Brown would be doxxed and hunted down by society every day of his life while trying to sell red murder hoodies on his Patreon. Yep. He doesn't need mental health evaluation. He needs to be locked and work Gen Pop, where inmates' only rule is to keep him alive. No other rule. Everything else is free reign to do as they wish. You know, I'm totally fine with that. Mental health does not mean released peace. Yeah. In other words, he's celebrating Charlie's assassination with the rank award after 14 arrests. He knows how to play the game, and that's what somebody else. Commented on my community post about that, and it's just like, yeah, he knows how the game is played. He knows how the game is played. If he's been arrested 14 times, he knows how the game is played at this point. So, and honestly, it's just kind of sickening. Honestly, it was sickening, and that angered me. It really did anger me too. So, but yeah, Yeah, it's crazy, man. Yeah, Erna, you know what? Don't forget her name. That's all I'm gonna say. Just don't forget her name. And I'll keep an update on this one because this did anger me. This legitimately angered me, especially when it regards to anything. You know what? Honestly, anything regarding BLM angers me anyway. So I'm not. I guess it's not really surprising. But just to see people try to out and out defend this, it was disgusting at the time. And of course, about that shit. So yeah, so that's an update. He has not been released, although I think the judge who released him before he took Erna's life, I think she needs to be prosecuted because apparently that judge was failed the bar exam. I think failed the bar exam and was essentially people hate saying it, calling it out what it is, but essentially she was a DEI hire. So yeah, she needs to be prosecuted as well. That's how I see it. It's fucked up, dude. It's completely, it's completely fucked up, man. So yeah, so there was that, and we have actually I have another article I want to go over real quick. It's still a crazy situation. People defending is wild to me. I'm more annoyed with that more than the Kirk situation. I am too. I am too. And for the record, it's crazy, man. It's freaking crazy. It takes skills to be professional. And sometimes it takes skills to be professional to actually have a certain job. Exactly. Exactly. You know what I'm talking about, JSW. You definitely know what I'm talking about in regards to that. Anyway. In regards to that shit. How much you want to bet they changed up their tune changed when the victim was black because they do not care what race you are. Murder, no matter how justified. No. If the roles were reversed, if the races were switched over, we would be hearing the end of it. We would not be hearing the end of it. It would have been potentially another St. Floyd situation. Of course, it would have been absolutely insanity if it was the other way around. You fuckers, motherfuckers know I'm right. Y'all know I'm right. Right. You would hear Riot Cities in Flames, hands down, if it was the other way around. I love it, man. Gotta love it. I love this shit, man. I too love it. Okay. Now, speaking of Kirk, I got to circle it back to him again because if you guys remember, one of the first things that on the wake of his passing, one of the first people to celebrate his assassination was a DC writer by the name of Gretchen Felker Martin, who was writing Red Hood, who was writing the upcoming Red Hood. Well, that book got canceled. That book did get canceled. Gretchen lost any right to be considered a she. He was saying these, he was let go, basically. DC had to make a public statement saying that, we do not support what he was saying on Blue Sky, because he was saying that, pray for, thoughts and prayers to the bad guy from WW2, bigot, buzzword, insert buzzword here, pray the bullets didn't pray for the bullets' health when they touched Charlie Kirk, all that stuff. And he has a long history of this kind of behavior, this kind of making these kind of posts, and especially when it came to, you know, him writing fan fiction about offing J.K. Rowling because, you know, out of every single, because they can't let it go. Because they cannot let it go. For real, they cannot let this shit go. Because they agree on one thing. Because they agree on everything. J.K. Rowling is on, you know, J.K. Rowling is on that side of the aisle, and she usually agrees with everything. It was just that one thing about biological women not, you know, wanting biological women to, you know, to feel safer when it comes to bathrooms. You know, a certain sect in the community has been angry at her ever since. And because it's just freaking crazy now. And yeah, you know, Gretchen was in her some of his earlier release work, decided to you know, was, you know, talking about wanting to off J.K. Rowling in his fiction. It's just malice intent. It is malice intent. I totally agree with you, Jay. It is malice intent. So anyway, let's go ahead and get right into this, because this comes from Breitbart, which I would never thought I'd have to use Breitbart in any way, but I do have to use it here. Mark this day, guys. Mark this day. The first time I've ever cited from Breitbart. Transgender DC comics writer Gretchen Felker Martin doubles down on celebrating Kirk's assassination. No regrets for what I said. And you know what? Thank you for being honest. I will say thank you so much for being honest, because you just because now everybody can see what a vile piece of shit you are. So thank you, Gretchen Felker Martin. Thank you so much for being honest. We appreciate the honesty. Keep in mind, this creature. You lost a right to call you. I've lost a right to call you a human being. This creature, this creature has a long history of it, okay? And yeah, this was one of the first notable firings, and it was a public outcry. It was a public outcry to get her off, get that book canceled. Anyway, let's get right into it. This is from Breitbart. This creature, Gretchen Felker Martin, says he has no regrets for posting hateful comments about murdered conservative activist Charlie Kirk. DC Comics immediately canceled Felker Martin's Red Hood comic book series, which hit magazines. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention. Thank you for reminding me. This person is full on ACAB. This person is also full on ACAB, which is not surprising in the slightest. It has zero sympathy for cops, and pretty much once cops gone too. Hence why in the Red Hood book she has cops actually offing themselves in the start of the issue in a freaking dream sequence. But now, days after being fired, Felker Martin is shrugging off the unceremonious ends of the comic series, saying he is not the least apologetic over his comments. I have no regrets for what I said. about Kirk's murder. It just did strike me as an especially hot flashpoint. This is such a loathsome person. For everyone on the entire internet is talking about how pleasant that he got his. Felker Martin told Comics Journal, quote, I saw that he died in the middle of spreading more of the bigotry he spent his every waking moment promulgating. And in a way, he had advocated for others to die. Do you actually have proof of that? Do you actually have fucking proof of that? Now, I strongly disagree. Now, there's a lot of things that I strongly disagree with Charlie Kirk on. Granted, but do you actually have proof of that? And felt nothing in contempt for his life. I mean, this is a man I've watched for years go on television in the Northern Stage convention halls and say that me and everyone like me should be stoned to death. Where's the freaking proof? Where's the proof? I'm sorry. Falcon Mark is, of course, lying. Kirk never, ever said gays should be stoned to death. Regardless, the writer's unapologetic for several social media messages posted online for hours in wake of Kurt's murder. Thoughts and prayers, you N-word bitch. And another said, hope the bullet's okay after touching Kirk. And of course, I gotta... Why do we have to... Oh, God. I'm at John Della Backhole. Anyway, DC Comics immediately canceled the Red Hood series despite that it's only its first issue had been released. The publisher also released a statement in the firing said at DC Comics, we place the highest value on our creators and our community to affirm the right to be peaceful individual expression of personal viewpoints. And it's a post of public comments that can be viewed as promoting hostility or violence or inconsistent with DC standards of conduct. The wild-eyed extremist writer makes a habit of posting radical messages on social media. All among some of his more unseemly comments, Falker Martin posted in a, oh, that's right, he was sympathizing for Bin Laden during after September the 11th. I completely forgot. He praised Bin Laden's felling of the World Trade Center, calling Israel a fascist nation, and praised Hamas for killing Hamas for the October 7th massacre. Even far-left social media outlet Blue Sky had suspended, actually, after even he was suspended for calling for violence on JK Rowling. On Blue Sky, of all places. Sorry. I completely forgot that he was praising Bin Laden. I forgot that this creature was praising Bin Laden for September the 11th. Oh man, you could not make this up, guys. You could not make this shit up. Oh boy. Now, normally I'd be pissed. Normally, I'd be very angry about that right now to find that out, but I'm just like, you know what? You know what? You get what you deserve. You just get what you deserve. You get what you freaking deserve at this point. So it's the whole thing is messed up, man. We probably grown up. We probably go numb. I think that's what it is. We've just grown numb to these comments. I think that's what happened this weekend. This has just made me grow numb. I'm just growing completely numb. And I'm just like, you know what? Let that shit sort itself out. Let him speak. Let him speak. Let him speak. You want to call cancel culture? Well, you don't like it when cancel culture. Well, apparently, it's what we've been seeing over the weekend, over the past couple of days, is that it's okay to advocate for cancel culture, but you want to screen cancel culture when it happens to you. When it happens to you, you the whole rules for thee and not for me. When it happens to you, you want to scream cancel culture. When you have been advocating for it for years. I think I might be a little fired up today. I think I might be. I think I'm a little fired up this morning, and I know I can't be this fired up on a Monday morning, man. Come on now. I'm a little too fired up on a Monday morning. I think that's the jolt. I think I needed is a little jolt, you know. No, man. I'm just saying, man. I'm just. How many jobs available now? What, at DC? I don't. I hate when people get fired. Would you want to apply? Would you want to work at Sucker Punch? Sean, come on now. It's just, it's abhorrent, man. It's all abhorrent, and I just have zero sympathy anymore. I just have zero sympathy. I get fired up once the next I'll get fired up once I do my next 2 videos on Charlie Kirk. Okay. Man, I'm just, Sean, I don't know what to tell you, man. I have zero sympathy anymore. I think it's gone. I think my empathy is gone. I think it's gone. I think it's just apathy. It's just straight up apathy now. You know, Nux has been crazy on this. Nux has been super crazy covering this whole thing. And so many people are emotional about this, man. Even the people who haven't been, like, there was a Nux made this video on Nux was reacting to this video from Black Conservative who was going over numerous people, and I mean like numerous freaking people on the other, numerous people leaving one side of the aisle. Like, it's insane, man. Like, this whole thing is absolute insanity. Jesus, man. It's just, this whole thing is just pure insanity. Tons of people lost their jobs over this, man. Yeah, and it's like, I can't have sympathy for them anymore. I can't have sympathy for this person anymore. I can't have sympathy for this creature. Yes, I'm referring to him as a creature. Because absolutely abhorrent. If you're not willing to give Kirk any ounce of humanity, why should we give you any ounce of humanity? Maybe that's where I'm at. Maybe that's where I'm at right now. Sure. I'm serious, man. Like I was, like, I'm still stuck in that crossroad. I'm still stuck in just kind of that mental crossroad, man. It's just like, I'm just like, at what point, like, how far is it that, you know, we need to, at what point where it's just like, do we just stop taking at what point do we need to just stop acting like we need to take the higher ground to be the better person? If they're going to go low, if these people are just going to go that low, then why should we have sympathy? Like, seriously, you don't, I'm not saying you didn't have to like guy or anything. I'm just saying, man, you want to do a smear job. It's not good look if you're smearing somebody when the body isn't even cold. It's not a good look. I'm sorry. It's just not a good look, period. When you're trying to smear somebody when the body's not even cold. And it just angers me, man. And it was just, I found it just disgusting. I understand humans will speak ill, people will speak ill to dead and shit like that, but even I have a golden rule to not at least show some ounce of respect and not celebrate somebody's passing. Not just somebody's passing, but somebody got murdered. Somebody got offed in public. And people are fucking celebrating over this. That's why I had the problem with Tim Sweeney's comments. Like, it wasn't just somebody just passed. It's somebody got off somebody got off at an event. And guess what? His passing is now having that ripple effect. Congratulations. You turned him into a martyr. So what good did celebrating him do? It just became a mask off moment for everything else. It just became a major mask off moment. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It was just disgusting to see. And I'm just at a point where I'm like, you can't, it's like these people, it's just like, it's so hard to like try to be, you want to be the better person. I think that's what it is. It's just like you so bad, you want to take the high road. You want to be the better person. But I'm just like, these people just can't be reasoned with. It's just some people just simply can't be reasoned with anymore. I don't know. We need Jesus right now. I don't know, man. It's crazy. This world is definitely going to hell in a handbasket. That's for damn sure. The handbasket. I think we can all unanimously agree on that one. And you just further the divide. And then that's what it is. Your little outcries, your little outpours and everything. You just further the divide. Calling out evil is the high road. Yeah, it's just that's all it is. You're just furthering the divide. Man, I've heard stories about I've heard people I had to what was it, Neon of Clownfish TV. He said that Neon of Clownfish TV. He said he had in one of his recent videos, he had to unfriend a bunch of people on Facebook who were celebrating Kirk's assassination. He had to unfriend a bunch of people. He had to unfollow. He had to unfollow a bunch of people. He had to cut ties with a bunch of people celebrating that. Because I'm like, that's a step too far. You're getting off, man. And I can understand that. I've heard. I was hearing stories of family just kind of cutting ties with one another over this situation, man. It's divisive. It's divisive, man. So where I stand is I'm not going. Where I stand is I just don't have any more sympathy with these. When anything happens, I can't have sympathy anymore. I just can't. And it's just furthering the divide. Now, granted, if say one of these people lost alive, yeah, I'm gonna have sympathy. Yeah, that shouldn't have happened, and yeah, thoughts and prayers, of course, obviously. But as far as people losing their jobs or getting canceled or getting all over the place on social media for celebrating this, for celebrating somebody getting off and getting assassinated in a public event, no. I'm not going to, man. No, I just don't have sympathy. I don't have sympathy for people getting fired. I just don't. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. It's just I'm thinking about what Starting Craig said on Side Scrollers. He posted a clip of Side Scrollers podcast, and I think this situation set him off. It set off Eric July to where, Eric July has been, I guess Eric has been calling this out. Young Rippa has been basically sounding off the alarm on this for years. So even before he started doing Rippaverse and comics and stuff like that, when he was big into the music and commentary space, he's been sounding off like this for years when he was working at Blaze. But the thing is that I think now more than ever, I think it is time for people to be people to go out and be that change that they want to see, Go out and do your own thing. Go out and make your own go out and make that content. Make the content you want to see and shit like that. Stuttering Craig was echoing that too. That someone made a list of all of the people in the industry who celebrates tragedy. Oh, there have been multiple. If you're referring to the video game industry, Madam Savvy, Pirate Nation have been at work. Grums has been at work on this in terms of video game stuff. Asmongold is going completely gloves. You know what? That's a good thing. Ray, good to see you. Good to see you, Ray. You know what? That's a good thing about that. I want to bring this up. Let's bring up. We're gonna react to Asmongold real quick because I think this situation has just completely set him off. And I mean completely set him off. So here, we're going to react to Asmongold's video real quick.
It's been a little while. Just before I get into the main topic of the video, I want to explain why there haven't been any videos. My dad has been in the hospital for the better part of a week now. Very serious. And as somebody who, first off, I want to say one more time, shout out, thoughts and prayers go to Asmongold and his father. He is sadly dealing with cancer. And he's been in the hospital. So, Asmon, I can say this regardless of how people feel about you, regardless of the opinions you make, regardless of even I disagree with you on terms. I can say this with confidence. Asmongold, you're a good son. You are a good son. I mean, and I legitimately mean that. You are a good son, by the way. So take all the time you need. And I'm thankful that I got a family member dealing with that right now, and she got out. She's been at home for she was finally released from the hospital like last week, so she's been at home for a week. People have been able to visit her and stuff like that, and she's been they've been providing updates like every other day, and it's really good to see that they're weathering through this. They're getting the strength back, just getting back and be able to do stuff again. So I mean that. So Asmon, all the best to you and your old man. Hope you all get through this, man. So you are a good son. I mean that. So situation, it has required my full attention. And because of that, I've been on calls, I've been dealing with other people, talking to members of the family, and doing everything that I need to be there for my dad and for my family during this situation. And because of that, I haven't been live and I haven't made a lot of videos. I apologize for that. Hopefully, I'll be back as soon as possible. That being said, we had something insane happen today, and I was able to break away a little bit earlier, and I wanted to make a video about it and talk about the obvious and inevitable nature of the assassination of Charlie Kirk. This happened a few hours ago, and it was probably one of the most gruesome and graphic, and this is coming from somebody who grew up on LiveLeak.
And I'm going to be honest with you. I was already I had everything. I had it described to me what exactly happened. I actually had it described to me what exactly happened, and so I've already. So I hadn't seen the actual footage of what happened, but it's very gruesome. It's very gruesome and it's very horrifying to see. And but I did have people tell me exactly what happened. So.
Videos I've ever seen. The first time I saw a video, I thought it was AI generated. The guy gets shot in the neck and blood is spurting out. I didn't even know it could do that. And it was absolutely fucking horrifying to see something like that happen in front of a massive audience of people. Now, if you don't know who Charlie Kirk is, Charlie Kirk has been a pretty noteworthy, like controversial guy. He's a conservative. He goes to a lot of college campuses, does live debates. This is a pretty popular format nowadays. And Charlie Kirk has been popularizing it and utilizing it now for many years. And he was even featured in South Park recently because of it. Charlie Kirk definitely is not a super radical right-wing person, but I would say that he's more of the moderate to.
And by the way, that's fair. That's fair, Ray. I understand that. I'm just saying. What I was about to say. So right now, apparently right now, there are going to be certain channels. There are certain, there's going to be content creators that are going to go and make videos, I think this week, basically debunking everything that people have said about Charlie Kirk. They're actually going to, I think I heard one channel say that they're going to put out a full video this week, basically debunking everything that people said about Kirk. So I think that'll be very interesting to see. So,
kind of extreme right wing, very, very, I would say, lukewarm, though, in my opinion, at least, especially, and this is where we're going, especially compared to now. And what I think is going to happen now, because obviously, these shootings like this don't really happen inside of a vacuum, and they never do, they never have. And I think that the situation that we have right now is that there is a tremendous amount of political violence that is advocated for, promoted, and allowed to exist on social media that has turned up the temperature in all political conversations, all social conversations, and all discourse on the internet in general, to a point where it's almost unrecoverable. You have people that are out there all the time advocating for violence, advocating for people to get killed. Somebody needs to take care of this guy. Somebody needs to deal with this. I wish he were dead. Won't somebody do it? The 8647, all of the crypto messaging and all the doxing, right? Why do you dox somebody? Why do you post the person's home address? It's to make other people that are insane, like the person who killed Charlie Kirk, it's to give them the ammunition they need to kill that person and to put that person's life in danger. That's why they're doing it. And so that's the reason why they want to find out the identities of ICE agents. That's the reason why they want to find out the identities of Tesla owners, like at the beginning of the year. It's so they can destroy their car and destroy their lives. And this isn't necessarily a one-sided thing. I think that in the last 5 years or so, especially since BLM, it's been a 90% left-wing thing. But that doesn't mean that the 10% right-wing people are right either. But I do think that now you're going to see a lot more right-wing people balancing out those scales. The fact is that you can take a knife to a gunfight all you want.
It's not like balancing the scales. It's more the lines of basically the pendulum is swinging so far over now that it's just going. This whole situation, you turned him into a martyr, is going to embroider one side of the aisle to have a stronger resilience. Now they're going to push harder now. They're not holding. I think it's just like people are done. I think people are just fed up at the end of the day. I think more and more people are starting to get fed up at the end of the day, and people are just done holding back. They see one side. They see the cause. They see the reasoning. They see that they're. I think more and more people are starting. I think this situation has revealed that more and more people are starting to see, the people behind the curtain. They're starting to see that. Okay, they're starting to see the mask off moments. People's true colors are starting to come out, and I think it is also a result because of the pendulum swinging over to the other side instead of swinging down the middle, which it needs to be swung back down the middle. It's gonna get crazy. The division's gonna get even crazier. Let me continue.
think that you're honorable, but you're going to end up being dead. And I think that's what right-wing people have done for a very long time. They've tried to speak above the political violence. They've tried to advocate above it and not try to stoop down to that level. But the issue is that a lot of these social media companies have expressed literally zero desire to even do the bare minimum of moderation. I think that two of the worst actors are Twitter or X and Reddit. Both of these platforms are full of a bunch of extremist nut jobs that not only should have their accounts banned, but they should probably be put in mental institutions. And I think that now I find it to be kind of interesting taking a step back for a week or so and seeing how many people are coming around to the inevitable reality that this is the only path forward. There are so many people in society now that are just completely unhinged, under-medicated, and really just completely insane that you can't have a person like that running wild out in society. They cause problems for themselves, not to mention everybody else around them. And I think that the society, we need to have an honest conversation about how to deal with these people in a way that, and I'll be real, I don't really care about the people that are crazy. Their well-being and the way that, you know, things are for them. Of course, obviously, I wouldn't want it to be bad, but it's certainly not important. What's really important is all of the people who aren't crazy, making sure that people that are not crazy, that are good actors, that are law-abiding citizens, are able to live a life of peace, a life of prosperity, and a life without fear of going on the subway, for example, as at the recent event as well. And I think that every single person in the world deserves to live in a place like that. And I don't want to see, America turn into a PvP server. And it sure seems like it is. And I think that in order to prevent that from happening, we need to have honest conversations about what do you do with people that, get arrested 14 times? And it's not even a question, right? You put them in jail and you throw away the key and you compel them to work, and that way you can make the money back from imprisoning them forever. That's the way that you solve that problem. It's very simple, actually. But for some reason, the way that makes people feel has made them unwilling to look at this obvious truth. If you look in history, this is what we've always done in history, and it's because it works. And the problem is that now we have so much of the discourse that's dominated by emotional thinking, that's dominated by the most unstable, the most virtue signal, the most, ridiculous performative empathy possible. And that's defining a huge political voice in the country. This has become a tremendous detriment to everyone. And I think that with people like the shooter that probably shot Charlie Kirk, with that guy in the subway that stabbed that Ukrainian woman, or with that trans shooter that shot up the school, one thing that's common among all of them is that these people, in almost all cases, were verifiably nuts beforehand, and nothing ever was done about it. And until we can stomach the idea of solving problems like that before they happen, we're going to keep having problems. And I think that with Charlie Kirk, it's very obvious that the amount of, political violence and advocating for political violence that's happening on the internet has turned up the temperature and created an environment and a culture where this type of behavior is normal. And not only is it normal, but it's actually encouraged. And the problem is that now people are acting on it. And you're starting to see this happen, and I think it's going to continue getting worse. I don't think Charlie Kirk is going to be the last one, but I think that we will look at Charlie Kirk's death and see it as a turning point in this topic. And what I'm really trying to get at here with this entire point is that right now we are at a extremely pivotal moment. Mm-hmm. And I think that what's going to end up happening is that right-wing people are not going to continue to turn the other cheek. They're not going to continue to just, this is just a crazy left-wing radical. I think you're probably going to see right-wing people doing the same thing to left-wing people. And honestly, while I don't think this is a good thing, I certainly don't really feel that sorry for them, because a lot of left-wing people have no problem advocating for violence, or at least using coded language in order to advocate for violence. The fact is that there's a certain level of intellectual dishonesty that goes on in situations like this where it's considered, oh, well, this isn't actually what they meant. And no, this is actually some others. No, it is. It's exactly what they mean. They're trying to advocate for killing people that they disagree with. That's what's happening. And there's no talking around it. And to the extent that you try to, you're insulting the intelligence of anyone that you're speaking to. And I think that now you're going to start seeing a lot of right-wing people end up doing this to left-wing people now even more, because it's very clear that these social media platforms are not going to moderate this behavior. The FBI, for whatever reason, just refuses to deal with or have any degree of accountability for dealing with these obvious terrorists that are in the country. And because of that, I think you're going to start seeing an uptick of violence from right-wing people as well. And this is going to be, in my opinion, I don't really think the word is justified, because it's not justified, but the word is expected. I think it's going to be expected. The fact is that, again, you bring a knife to a gunfight, you're going to lose. And don't be surprised when you keep bringing guns to gunfights and then somebody else decides to start shooting back. I think that's what's going to happen. And I think this is a degradation of society as a whole. And ultimately, the real burden of responsibility here doesn't really fall on influencers. And I don't think that it falls even on the commenters themselves. I think it falls primarily on the government. The fact is that the government, there are already laws that permit, explicit calls to violence. There's already laws that permit the types of stalking and doxing that people engage in online. And one of the big things that is a misconception is that people like me want new laws. We want any form of extra censorship at all. I certainly don't want that, and I don't know anybody else that does either. But what we do want is we want the existing laws to be applied and to be enforced in an accurate and a fair way, which is clearly not what's happening. And really, the government not doing that and giving this asymmetrical, in my opinion, advantage to left-wing people to fully and with complete freedom practice genuine terrorism on a daily basis, and then congratulate each other about how moral and how good they are for doing it, because something bad that happened in Palestine or something bad that Donald Trump did 3 years ago. This is just simply a response. This is what's going to happen. And so, and I think that that's probably what it's going to take for these left-wing people to realize what a bad idea what they've been doing is. Because until it starts happening to them, until they start having people that are their friends or, their, like icons that they look up to, the same way people looked up to Charlie Kirk, until they start seeing those people get killed, I don't think it's really going to be real for them. And unfortunately, I think that's the path that we're headed down because of the government and social media companies and every other seemingly governmental apparatus that has just completely hand-waved this problem and ignored it entirely. So the death of Charlie Kirk and the assassination of him should not come as a surprise to anyone. This should be something that everybody could have expected. All you had to do is read Twitter for an hour and you could have told me this would have happened, of course. Yeah. Same with Reddit. And until that core problem is addressed, you will continue to see a rapid decline in any type.
It's going to be a weird time. And it's going to be a weird time. But there was one that, what was it? Was it from here? That was probably not the video I was looking for. It was probably this one.
Hi, guys. It's me again. And today we're going to look at and try to destroy your career and destroy your reputation for disagreeing with them on something political. But now whenever it's happening to them, they're the victims. Well, if you want to be the victim, it's time to earn it. I think also here's another thing is that
I was referring to the whole Sucker Punch developer and shit. And I was talking about this yesterday on Peak Gaming, if you guys missed that one. But yeah, the fallout, I was bringing up the fallout. There were more people. I was going over more posts, especially on Blue Sky, from people who were celebrating, from more game developers celebrating Kirk's assassination. And I think a lot of people are just, more and more people are just kind of in that same vein, in that some of these devs, like, if these devs end up getting fired, then it's like, you can't have sympathy for them. You just can't. you simply just can't. I can't have sympathy for any developer that gets fired for celebrating an assassination. That doesn't look good on you. It doesn't look good on anybody, man. And quite frankly, for what some of the stuff that I was showing off yesterday, some of these devs deserve to get fired. I'm just gonna
If
be
you
honest.
work at one of these companies and you have one of these individuals that works at your company, you do have a recourse to this, and that's calling and talking to HR. Because the fact is that HR does not operate in your best interest, and it doesn't operate in their best interest either.
No,
it operates in the best interest of the company. And when you have people that are making public statements and calls to violence and celebrating violence like that, they're creating a hostile and an unsafe work environment. And anybody who works in HR or anybody who works inside of any sort of corporate environment will tell you that that's something that just can't exist in a corporate environment. There's a reason why we have levels of decorum, and there are some levels of HR that make sense.
Hey, Punk,
and so if you
know, some people were saying, like, especially when I was bringing up, talking about my situation, don't go to HR, go to like OHA and such like that, because that is
work at one of these companies and you have a person like this doing it, make sure to talk to HR and let them know how uncomfortable you feel that there's a person who's working at your company who might want to advocate to have you killed because you disagree with them. Tell them that it makes you afraid to come into work. Tell them that, you don't know, maybe you're going to file a lawsuit. You feel unsafe at your workplace. And honestly, here's the important thing. You should feel unsafe, because these people would justify violence against anybody who disagrees with them. And just because you think you know them doesn't mean they wouldn't do the exact same thing to you. And this is them. This is the game that they're making right here. And you can see that they've made no statement about this. Now, let me ask you a very simple question. If these people made a degrading comment towards the trans community, for example, or towards the black community, for example, do you think Sucker Punch would have immediately fired them and made a statement? I think so.
They would have. This is the whole point. This is the important point. If what Drew was saying, if she were to make that statement towards someone in the LGBTQ community, somebody in the black community with those kind of statements, then yes, she would have been fired, and Sony and Sucker Punch would have made a public statement about this. Hands down. Like, completely, hands down. Like, no doubt about it. So it just kind of highlights the double standards here, and highlights how not only just the double standards, and how clearly with this situation in particular, I feel that Sucker Punch and Sony are kind of complacent with this. So that's why I have zero respect for this developer. I have zero respect for this developer at this point. And thanks to them, a lot more people are going to be, thanks to this particular senior developer, more people are going to start boycotting. More people are going to start boycotting. More people are going to start boycotting Ghost of Yotei, and actually might affect their launch. So, this is on y'all, man. You can't blame the customers for seeing takes like that and just being completely turned off on it. You can't blame the customers on that. You simply can't. You speak with your wallet. If you still want to get Ghost of Yotei, you still want to get any of these games that these developers were talking about, even if you want to get Caravan Sandwich, that indie title that I was bringing up yesterday, if you want to get that game, totally fine with you, but understand that not everybody's. If people are going to see that, regular people may end up seeing that, and they may get turned off on that. That's the point we're trying to make. Like, the whole thing with Caravan Sandwich was like, they made this post yesterday. I highlighted that, it's been 1 year since their game came out, and someone was 360 no-scoped, basically, referring to Charlie Kirk. And I'm like, wow, that is a really mask-off moment. And I'm like, I have zero respect for you as a developer. As an indie developer, for an indie developer, I have zero respect for you. I will stay far away from whatever game that you try to release. Like, for real. Like, I think other people did too.
Absolutely. But for some reason, these people are protected. And the reason why they're protected is because there's a lot of other ones at the company that feel the exact same way that they do. That's the only logical reason that I have. And I think that at a certain point, Sony or somebody needs to step in. Whoever owns this company needs to step in and root out this disease before it kills the entire company. Because I do think that it will have a tremendously negative effect on the game. And you can see this right here. This is a post that Sony made. I guess it was a couple of days ago about Ghosts of Yotai. And you can see 1,000 comments on this. Your senior dev at Sucker Punch is a violent leftist, etc. And these are more comments here. Never let up the pressure. Never, ever, ever do that. Keep this pressure up until these people lose their jobs. And then after they lose their jobs, then take a break, relax, pat yourself on the back, wait for them to get another one, and then do it again. And that's the only way that you should treat these animals. And that's exactly what they are. You shouldn't view them as people. You shouldn't view them as a person with a political disagreement from you. These are violent animals that are trying to destroy the last good thing that we have, which is the open ideas of political discourse. And they're celebrating murdering people for doing it. And as soon as that starts happening, I don't want to know what's next. And the worst thing is that I already do. And I think you do too. And so anyway, we've got more of these here as recognition is not enough for...
You know what the funny thing is? You know what the funny thing is, man? You know what the funny thing is? Like, I don't want to hear it from any I want to hear from anybody in the comment section acting like, oh, one side of the aisle is so sensitive because we all advocated for this developer to get punished for saying these disgusting things. I'm like, for anybody who wants to say that, you know, we're acting like babies or we're acting so sensitive about it, I'm like, so you're so you're totally fine with celebrating the political assassination. You're totally fine with that. That should be my rebuttal. So you are totally fine with that. That is totally okay. Like, get the fuck out of here, man. I'm sorry. Get the fuck out of here.
Me, I hope he tanks the studio. And cowards keep quiet. The studio deserves to go under. I understand why a lot of people at these companies don't speak up, which is why I suggest that if you work at one of these companies, please make sure to go to HR. Go to HR and file these complaints legitimately with them. There are certain legal things that they have to do. And in some cases, these people will pretty much...
You know, the problem is, and many people have brought this up with me, is that HR won't do a thing. HR will not do a thing. What people are saying is go to, I think they said it was OHA, because they work closely with like organizations like the FBI and such shit like that. If you feel that uncomfortable in your workplace environment. Now, granted, for me, I just tune that shit out. Thankfully, they don't bring it up. They only brought it up like twice. You know, my coworkers brought up the Kirk situation twice, and you know what? Despite that, they do kind of fall in that same camp. They didn't bring it up as much. It doesn't bother me. I'm able to tune it out. So I'm just saying, it's just
lose their job for sure if enough people are discussing it. And you have also some people make comments like this. It's wild how the woke right, like Asmongold, Grums and others, showing themselves to be what they hate, authoritarian freaks that want to censor and silence anybody they despise. Yeah, I do. I do. I think that anybody who's advocating for killing people over speech like this should be censored. Absolutely. And this is just normal. Absolutely. I don't... There's this trick that a lot of people like this like to play, which is they try to use your own language and use your own morality against you. These people don't care about freedom of speech. They don't care about censorship. They don't care about any of that.
Let's add on to the top of this. They don't care about freedom of speech, and they also don't care about They don't care about freedom of speech. And they don't care about, morality issue, really, because it just fit their agenda. And let's be honest here, the people who are just like all this, but, 1,000 people in, millions of people in Gaza, Gaza are getting off, and we're making a big deal about this person. It's like, the people in Palestine don't give a damn about you. Okay? They do not give a damn about you. God, I can't believe I went political here, but they don't give a damn about you. Okay?
They're simply trying to weaponize your values and use them against you in order for them to fulfill their own goals. And so every time that they try to make an appeal to your own values, you should ask yourself, do they hold these values? And if the answer is no, then you shouldn't take it seriously. Because this person is simply trying to use your values to subvert you and take advantage of you and to push their own agenda and to hurt you. And so never listen to this, never play into this game, never even acknowledge that that there's any validity to it at all. These people don't care about freedom of speech. The only time they bring it up is whenever they're trying to co-opt the person who does care about freedom of speech and make that person act against their own best interest. But anyway, we've got also, this is me, as well as put out the call for finding game devs mocking. And there's another one here. This is the voice actor for Diluc and Genshin Impact. I hope they receive the same care that the average American citizen would get in the same situation. Really? So they're just going to fall down and die. Somebody gets shot in the neck like that with their blood like spurting out. There's no health care. You're not coming back from that, at least not anytime soon with the medical care that we have now. And so anyway, at least he came out, at least he goes out doing what he loved, being a bigot. Yeah, of course you have more comments like this, more people like this. And if True Political if it's permanent, every post you make goes out to the public firehouse, captured by someone somewhere. The delete button doesn't do what you think it does. And so anyway, we have a lot of people, obviously, that are starting to say stuff, live by something. So she's obviously trying to make a statement of live by the sword, die by the sword. This is what, and I think that this is a very revealing statement. And I think this is going to be the last comment that I'm going to look at here, is that this statement's actually extremely revealing, because what it's saying is that from her perspective, living by the sword is the same as being killed. Speaking out and being able to, express your opinion on certain things should be met with the equivalence of deadly force. And that's really what these people want. They want to bully, push, fight, and if it comes down to it, kill you if you disagree with them. And that's why whenever somebody does do something insane like this, all of these people tried to do mental gymnastics about why it was somehow justified, normalized, okay, acceptable, or something one way or another. The fact is that, live by the debate, die by a gunshot wound in the throat. No, I don't really think that makes a lot of sense, does it? But it doesn't sound as good as these, vapid, Yas Queen comments that people like her make on Blue Sky that have absolutely no pushback because they're on their own protected reservation away from anybody whose opinions could be different than their own. And that's the reason. And also, those are the only people that are still left on the platform. And soon, if with enough effort and enough work, we can have enough of these people removed from our media, and removed from our public discourse, and removed from any sort of positions of power where they can exercise their completely maladjusted, totally deranged viewpoints and worldview. And so anyway, I want to let you know that this is definitely not the only amount of them that there are. I'm sure there's plenty more. And so if you want to express and show any of these other people, and you want to post one of their comments or anything like that, I would recommend anybody to go on over to Roach Ranch. This is a comment right here. Not comment, community right here that I made on Twitter. I do not really moderate this at all. And if you guys want to post the different public comments that are being made by these different developers or these different people that are working in media celebrating this, and collectively we can contact their employers, contact the people that are around them, and have them get fired from their job. And do not, for even a second, think that this is not fair. It is absolutely fair. These people have been doing it to people like me for the better part of 5 years, and it's time the shoe goes on the other foot. They're disgusting, they're celebrating violence, and there shouldn't be any space for this in any sort of a polite society. But yeah, anyway, crazy things going on over at Sucker Punch Productions. Really, really crazy stuff. With that many weirdos and freaks working at the company, I wonder what this game's going to be like. I kind of don't want to know, but I kind of do. I think it'll be great content, but for all the wrong reasons. So anyway, guys, that's about all I've got for today. I did promise I would go through all of this, and we've gone through all of this. So thank you all very much. I really appreciate you watching, and feel free to join the Twitter community or to join Reddit or anywhere else. But Twitter community is the best and most uncensored place. Reddit is very censored for a number of reasons that we have to, right? We just have to follow the Reddit rules. Twitter doesn't have those same rules. So if you guys want to talk about this issue more and bring up more people, feel free to go over to the Twitter community and we can mobilize from there. And hopefully we can put...
So from my... For me, I do think it... See, this is why I'm conflicted. This is where even I'm conflicted about this. Because I get it trying to be at the high power, but at the very least, these people want to make these people really want to show their ass and celebrate, and these people want to continue on and try to go on at it. Then yeah, I think their tweets need to be made public. I think their posts need to be made public for everybody to see. Because you can't play this more. To the people who are celebrating Kirk's assassination, you can't play this moral high ground. You can't. You don't have a moral high ground to stand on. That don't work anymore. Because people are seeing the truly mask off moments. And the people who are advocating for the people who have spent years just advocating for other people to lose their jobs, to get canceled, and all this, that, and the third. We're not going to shed sympathy if the shoe is on the other foot. It's just, I'm not going to have any. Like I said last week, it's just a lot of this is straight up. A lot of this is straight up karma. I'm seeing a lot of this is karma now. I ain't gonna go out and I ain't gonna go out and try the advocate to call the people to lose their jobs, shit like that. No, but I'm going to make sure I bring this shit to the light. But I will definitely highlight these tweets. I'll heavily highlight these comments because it's at least I can do. I just don't think at some point you just is it worth taking the high road anymore? You think? I don't know, man. I don't know. It's shit's conflicting, man. This shit is conflicting. This shit is conflicting. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, there you go. That's been my thing because I don't even know if I should even go over that far, man. What time is it? 7:54. Okay, yeah, we're about to get out of here. Yeah, we need to get out of here. Anyway, guys, you guys have been Amazing. They've been patient with me. I'm gonna keep working on this one. I'm on the kind of backlight thing. I'm trying to figure out a good brush for figure out a good brush for this one right here. It's interesting. It's definitely interesting trying to figure out a really good brush for this. So far I'm liking the. So far, I almost kind of did this out of I almost basically kind of drew this out of anger over what happened last week, just because I don't find this, just because I found that to be just abhorrent and shit like that. So, like, ultimately, you just gotta do better. You just do what's best for you, and just don't be celebrating people's passing, man. I understand if you got personal beefs with somebody, okay, but you making it public. You're making that shit public, and it's not looking good on anybody. It doesn't look good on you, man. It just doesn't. You make that shit public. You sat out public that this man deserved what he get, all that stuff. Let other people know, and people gonna find that. People gonna find that shit, and yes, they're gonna look at it and just find this abhorrent and thinking that this person, and is probably looking at the past history and like, this person's been, this person's okay with cancer somebody, so yeah, it's okay to give them a taste of their own medicine. It's like, bro, you didn't have to like them. You have your opinions. I totally get that, but how about you keep that to yourself, man? How about you just keep it to yourself? How about I understand that? Maybe think before you freaking post. Which is something I should be doing. Think before you post, man. Think before you hit that send button. But a lot of these people just don't care. Some of these people just simply don't care. They want that 15 minutes of fame. They want that attention. And they want to think that they're untouchable. They can't be fired. They can't be reported or any shit. When reality, they actually can be. This is having a brain which they don't have. Yeah. Anyway, what I am going to, you know what? We're going to end on a positive note. And this is something that caught my attention. I found another indie title that caught my attention. I'll say that much. And it's like, I found this indie title that caught my attention. And I'm trying to remember what it was. It was like, what was it? It was like indie. It's not Tricky Madness. It was another one that was going all over the place. Let me open up. That's what it. Thank you, Emerald. Thank you so much. That is exactly what I was looking for. That is the title I was looking for. I gotta show you this. This is dope. This is dope. This is basically this is sick. It's from Acclaim, which yes. Acclaim is back. Acclaim is back.
3, 2, 1.
Hyperyuki, Snowboard Syndicate, yes. Wishlist that mofo now on Steam. I'm gonna put a link. Hang on, let me open this up. Let me open this up. Find this. I'm gonna put the Hyperyuki Snowboard Syndicate, which is basically SSX meets, which is basically SSX meets Jet Set Radio, which I never thought I could want that, but you know what? You know what? I do. So I'm gonna put this link in the chat. Hyperyuki on Steam. Go ahead, wishlist that bad boy. That is going in. You know what? I'm liking this early 2000s. Yes. I'm getting this early 2000s vibes, man. I feel like the indie scene is starting to channel the PS2 era titles, man. I'm all for it. I'm up for it. So this looks fire. This looks fire. It reminds me a bit of Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, but yeah, this is fire. This is straight fire. So I'm all up for it. I agree. Bomb Rush Cyberpunk is the best thing to happen in years. I agree. I totally agree. Well, JSR, but yeah. The early we need that. We need that early 2000s Jet Set Radio vibes. And it's pretty awesome. Yeah, it's a spiritual successor to Tricky, or Tricky Madness is also a spiritual successor with a pinch of cool borders into it. This is how we know Acclaim's been sitting around. SSX has been reincarnated. But hey, man, we back. We back, baby. Oh man, you need that. I will hope it comes out in the winter. I will definitely play it in the winter. I'm up for it, baby. We need to come back to Renderware style. I know, right? I know. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. That's it for me. Smack the like button, make Jill smack that subscribe button, all that good stuff. And see you all later. I guess make some story posts. I got story posts I need to make. I'll make some posts up there, and I'll try to finish this today. So you guys are amazing. I will see you all the next time. I'm Makini 90 Arts German and Illustrator. Thank you for tuning in to Makini in the morning. We back, baby. Until then, stay cute, stay sexy, have fun, take care, much love, never apologize for wanting to interact with one of you, especially in video games. Say no to censorship. Be good to each other. Be excellent to each other. And above all else, never stop drawing. Have a great rest of your Monday, guys. Stay safe. I love y'all. Peace.
Cute, sexy, and fun. And that is definitely the best way to describe our channel members, too. We'd like to thank everyone in the CSF Nation for your incredible support. Join the channel for as low as $1 a month to get access to exclusive art drops that Makini drops every 2 months for his channel members. And all your support goes to helping out the channel and helping Makini put out the best content he can for you all to view and you all to enjoy. He appreciates all of your support, and we also appreciate your support as well. CSF Nation for life. Mwah. Gracias. Thank you for tuning in to Makini in the Morning and getting your morning started up on the right foot with us. If you enjoy this program, please smack that like button and make it jiggle. Share the show out to everyone you know. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell everyone. Become a channel member for as low as $1 a month if you want to support Makini further, and if you want to help Makini reach his 4K subscriber goal, hit that subscribe button. You'll definitely will not regret it. I am Mary Salatelli, producer and weather girl for this very program, and we all want to wish you a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. Stay safe out there. We will see you all next time here on Makini in the Morning. Mwah! Makini in the Morning is filmed before a live studio audience at Makini Studios in Arcadia Village's South Tower, right in the heart of the city. Would you like free tickets to the next Makini in the Morning live show? Of course you do. All you have to do is visit youtube.com/Makini90 or call 765-9077 toll free. We might pass up on free tickets. For written transcripts, please send $5 to Lucky Negro Transcripts at P.O. Box 425, Palmetto Valley, CSF Nation. Makini in the Morning is produced by Silver Nine Productions with Makini Draws Productions in association with Inisa Lockhart Television and Makira Banks Entertainment, and is distributed by CSF Nation Domestic Television Distribution.